Yo, YouTubers. Please excuse the strange red spot on my head where it looks like I've been poked in the head by a school teacher with a big finger. I don't know what that is, it's like some kind of rash, you know? Please excuse my ugly, boring attire because I'm not going to a wedding or nothing, you know what I mean? Anyway, this morning, Penny. The name's Ward, James Ward. A quick impersonation there to test the microphones. Yo, YouTubers, how's it going, man? It's been hey, my homies all out there, all the kids. How you doing? It's been a long time, man. All my 230 something subbers. Man, I appreciate it. I really do. I really do appreciate it. I mean it. And I mean it. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm in a good mood. I'm 55, folks. I was 55 on the 4th of November, not the 6th of November, you know. Why is that important? It's important because I'm 55 and I'm still alive. I didn't want to make a big deal about my birthday online. I didn't want, sort of, Right, but anyway, here's the news. The news, right? I haven't received a single penny, not one, since I put a video up a while back saying there's a PayPal link. I've discovered how to use a PayPal link and put it under my videos, and if people want to post some money to me, like help me buy a new computer, well, I didn't even get 5 pence. So I might as well abandon the idea and just get used to the fact that I'm going to be a wandering homeless wino with soiled underpants and holes in my socks. Maybe in 2 years' time, I don't know. Because my computer isn't good enough to put videos up, right, folks? You know, do like proper videos, video productions. It's just not powerful enough, right? And I've got no drive to make those kinds of videos. I'm slowly getting, the reason that the videos, I'm putting less and less videos up, guys, I'm thinking, guys and gals, by the way, don't mean to sound it, guys and gals, what was I going to say, what was my train of thought? Where's the train of thought? The train of thought words, come on. If no one's donating any money and no one's, not a single person, even if someone put like 10 cents and I knew that was like, it's gone through, I don't even know if it works, you see. People might have tried to pay me and someone might, I don't know, I don't like using the internet, folks, because any hackers or pirates can, any pirates are watching me now and you're thinking of like, what if I just go offline? What if I just stop using the internet and I sell my computer, right? And I don't go online, right? And all my musical production is done through a portable studio thing, just for fun, And I go out doing the busking thing or whatever, like. And I don't really have much to do with being online. What do pirates and hackers do then, mate? What did they do? You know what I mean? Apologies for the screen doing that thing again. Yeah, but that's the news headline. I haven't actually received a single donation, man. Not one. From a total stranger or not. So I don't even know if the account works or it registers. I mean, I even asked my brother. I tried sending myself £1, right, folks? When you're just using something for the first time, you want to know if it works, don't you? You don't think it goes to your bank account and all that, like. And I said to my brother, he owed me some money, so I said to him, just send me a couple of quid from what you owe me to me PayPal thing, so I know that it works, you know what I mean? Because he's the person I speak to regularly in my world, we don't really get on much, but we talk, like, And man, he just wouldn't do it, and I can't do it to myself. I tried sending, it's like, you cannot send yourself money through PayPal, it's like, oh no. And then I got only get one single donation. Don't even think anyone noticed. You know what I mean? But I thought, oh man, forget about it. You know, because everyone's looking at little tiny screens, aren't they? See, folks, you've got to gear your productions for little screens in people's hands. The mark of the beast in the right hand, haven't you? You know what I mean? And it's just not fun. You know, you got to have a big screen, and I've noticed when I go on apps and things and I use YouTube and you can't post comments and things like that, it's quite frustrating, do you know what I'm saying? Like, whereas if you use a bigger screen or a PC or a laptop, it's a little bit easier to do that kind of stuff. But obviously the public opinion, the masses are going for these phones big time, and that's what they want to do, guys. That's up to them, you know. But I've tried to warn the nations about the phones, what it's going to do to people in the end. Like, they're succeeding, the body snatchers, they're taking over the world. You can use them for creative purposes, right, folks? You could have a support. How many people out there, here's a good question, how many of you out there, you might be clever people, you own a smartphone, you're weird to the wise about the phone towers and all that kind of stuff, and you're not really addicted to your phones or whatever, you keep it to a bare minimum. How many of you switch off your phone and take out the SIM card, folks? For say an hour or so, or for 2 hours, or overnight when you're in bed asleep. How many of you disconnect your SIM cards, folks? Because that's, you know, the golden bull in the Bible, the golden bull. At the heart of every phone is a little SIM card with little gold contacts. And that's where the golden bull is, in between you and what's outside. Do you understand? And eventually it's going to be the golden bull's in your hand and you're going like, yeah, I pay for this, I pay for that, I pay for this, I pay for that. You end up saying to the fucking... man, I try to... No F-bombs. You end up like, your phone's actually arguing with you or something like, you know, telling you what to do or something like, you know, Alexa, you know, like, Alexa, please tell me what the weather's going to be like later. And Alexa goes like, shut up and get your work done today. Pick up that newspaper on the floor in the kitchen. You go, hey, how does Alexa know about that? Like, I'm telling you guys, you'll know about it when it's happening. Ditch all this crappy, unnecessary technology, right? Get back to MP3 players. There's a lot of CD players being sold. I've noticed, remember I put a video up a while back, guys, and I say one of the best ways to listen to music is to use a personal CD player and actually put the literal CD in the machine and put the headphones or whatever, and it sounds amazing, right? I go into music shops in Liverpool and they're starting to sell, all the shops are starting to sell little portable CD players and that everywhere now, you know what I mean? And record players and tape players. It's like, it's getting strange, man. It's like we're going backward. The digital bubble heads will be conquered. The digital silicon alien bubble heads will be destroyed. We will rule Earth once more. That is the end of this transmission from the planet Goron. Alright. Yeah, I turned 55, right, folks. Listen, man. Some hillbilly in Arkansas or something goes, I hate it when you smack your lips. Right. We've got a bit of a serious speech coming now, right? Okay, anything else to clear, right? So, I'm sorry, folks, I might be leaving, not YouTube in general, I'll keep the channel open, but I've been waiting for like social security interviews and assessments and stuff like that, and it makes me, I can't go anywhere, I can't go camping trips, I can't go, you know, I've got like wait for appointments and phone calls and go and see people and that, and then when that's over with and they've told me I'm still on the sick for a year, you know what I mean, I can, you can't half see me crease there, can't you? We've been, you know, operated on, like. Bastards. Anyway, so I'm waiting for these interviews, and then I can't do nothing until, you know, I've had all these confirmations and stuff, and then I can, you know, go stay somewhere, I don't know. I need to get out. I've been stuck in this flat all through summer and everything. It's pissed me off. I went to the TT, you know what I mean? I'm doing me head, and like, But I'm getting off my computer, I'm getting fed up with it. I don't like the things, mate. I don't like them. Don't like them, mate. Don't like them. Don't like computers. Alright, anyway, serious reason behind this speech, man. This is me. I'm seeing a rise in the dangers of how dangerous the Mormon religion is covertly attempting to rule the world. Right. And I've got nothing against Mormon people, like the people who used to knock on the door and that kind of, I used to like let them in and talk to them folks before I'd actually read a Bible. Obviously I'd never even read a Holy Bible, so I didn't know what was in them, right? And I was getting into this period of like thinking, I'm sure there's a God of some kind, you know what I mean? So when you're usually very vulnerable at that point to anyone knocking on the door, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, you just got this thing. I mean, not me personally, but I'm sure about the average person or the average middle-aged lady or whatever that gets these inclinations, right? Man, they'll be like a complete just easy for the word Jesus. Do you understand? And the Mormons and people like that know this, you see, that they can just use these words in a false, you know. But you, from your innocent perspective, that doesn't know nothing about false religions and false teachings, you in your little private perspective think they're like angels coming to educate you about Jesus. And they're not. The men who are brainwashed to go out making money for an empire that is a multi-billion-dollar empire, mates, right? I think they run NASA, right? I think they run Netflix, right? Me proof, NASA flicks, Netflix. I'm not knocking the staff and all. I'm not having a go at people who work for NASA and that, like, but it's very perturbing when you think that, like, everything that could be happening from NASA could be being controlled by the Mormon Jesus. I don't feel comfortable about that, man, you know. I think that's where I've done a speech about that, the Columbia shuttle crashing, you know what I mean, because they advertised a bogus Mormon book on television next to a Holy Bible, right? Now, illustration, I want to show an illustration if I can, like, you know. I've got my magic pen for drawing some illustrations, and I want to explain to people, right, how is it possible? This is my opinion, you don't have to agree, you know, you don't have to actually agree with me. But am I right if I put this point across that, like, this is how I believe the Mormons take over towns or areas or squares of an area? And think about it, man. They can prey on anyone who's, like, say, a recovering alcoholic or a recovering drug user or a homeless person, and because they're being nice and, like, sort of charitable, you're completely overawed by it, thinking like, oh, these angels are here to help me. And they're not. They're trying to recruit you as a robot, you know. I mean, there's enough videos now on YouTube of people who are ex-Mormons who have left it and want to go, like, they got literally had to escape it, like, and there's a whole community of them, isn't there, of people who are like, they're nice people now, and they realised how bad that organisation was, yeah. X-File, you know. It's an X-File. And now they're sort of like celebrating the fact that they actually made it out of there, like, and they're sort of reaching the real conclusion of what is there a real Jesus, a real God, you know. It's unfair on the real thing, isn't it? For these bogeymen who are just collecting money to get rich quick. Like, I won't name names of people on YouTube who are suspected are just like shady Mormons, like, but they don't say nothing about religion, you know what I mean? I believe in God 100%. I'm not trying to be religious. I just know what I've seen and witnessed. As sure as there's blood pumping through my veins, there's a God all around me in one place or another, you know what I mean? That's the way I see it. Like, it's nothing to do with a selling point or making money. But I did notice when I was actually the Mormons were knocking on the door, they knocked a few times, so they wanted to get into my head, and they left the book with me, like, would you mind if we leave a book with you, the Book of Mormon, or like, and you don't even back then I didn't even know what a Bible was, so I didn't want to know what that was, but I was being, you're just being polite. You're being polite, you know what I'm saying? So you do silly things. So you can imagine what pensioners do, and old ladies and old men and all, like, they'd be like, yes dear, I'll take one of those books, yes, just being nice, thinking like, oh, Jesus wants me to read this, doesn't he? Right. Well, here's like I'll show you a picture that always gave me the creeps, man. It used to be, when the Mormons were picking on me, and they gave me, it took me ages to find this photograph, guys, if I can share it, like, let's see. I'll show you this picture, like, and I'm not gonna say verbally why I think it looks a little bit shady Hades, right? Shady Hades. Here's Shady Hades. Oh man. Okay, so let's put that up a little bit there. And okay. Miss Money Penny. Does this come up? Display capture. Look alike. Hey. Oh, can you actually see that? You see that on the screen, guys? Look alike. Anyone got any ideas who that looks like? Look alike. Anyone know who that is? He's a drummer. He's a famous drummer. David. His name is David Garibaldi. Look alike. Okay. I recently got this picture here. Right. There we go. There it is. Okay. Close that down. And where are we on the screen? Are we in the center there? Yes, we are. Now, why would I not like this photograph? Now, what do we see, folks? We see an image, right? Now, you look at this, we know this is infamously corrupt, guys, right? I'm not being, it's so corruptive. Like, I think that guy there looks like Joseph Smith himself there. Look, if you look closely, like, they've all got that, like, and the artist who paints these, he's a bloody good painter, isn't he? Like, you know what I mean? But, like, look, man, this guy could be anyone. It could be a guy who works behind the counter in Boots or whatever, like, or, Boots. Right. But I know Jesus was dark. I know Jesus had dark hair, black eyebrows, black hair, he'd have had black or really dark hair, the Lamb of God, the real true Lamb of God. He looked a bit like, what's his name? The best lookalike I can give for the real Jesus, right, folks, is Omar Sharif. And, lookalike, I'm not saying Omar Sharif was Jesus, but he looked exactly like, really, but Jesus was more messy and sort of, like, tattier. He wasn't really bothered about his image and stuff, do you know what I mean? Now, this guy looks a little bit egotistical to me, like, to be a real Jesus, like, let's remove that little thing, like. Right, now, this unnerves me, this picture, mate, because it used to be the original Mormon book that they left with me, right, the Book of Mormon. I'm going to do this is going to be a full description on how I believe the Mormons do actually take over your house or your family or your town or your village or your housing estate without letting on. They don't tell anyone what they're up to, you know what I mean? So, the first step is they're knocking on your door, they get familiar with you, right? And then they say, can we leave this book with you? And they will also ask you, this was back in the day when they were still handing out like videos, VHS tapes or DVDs, right, folks? And this was the first page when you opened the Mormon book that they gave me. If you imagine this just as a square from the shoulders like that, you know, I don't think you see the little white arrow moving like a square, like, but if you imagine that's the actual picture that was in the front of the Mormon book, which I had, and that was supposed to be the Jesus, right? Could be anyone, couldn't it? Could be an actor, it could be someone, you know, they'll, you know. But the point is, right, as soon as that book was in my possession and it was in my living room or in my bedroom, right, I'd never read the Holy Bible, so I don't know. But as I always used to see this picture and think, you know, at first when you don't know nothing, you think, oh wow, it's a nice picture of Jesus, isn't it, man? He's like blessing someone and that, like. But it's when you go like, all the heads all around, looking around, like the way they're all watching and that, like. But it's when you go backward and you go, I'm a little bit curious about the position of his head. I'm a little bit curious about the way his head is like being pushed down, right down by his crotch, if you know what I mean. It doesn't seem... It just doesn't seem right, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just looks dead shady, doesn't it? But if you just went like that, right, look at this, man. I'm sorry, guys, but that just doesn't look right to me. Right. I've had a person knocking on my door he could have been him. He could have been him. But by the time he'd caught up to me, he was a little bit older and he didn't look anything like that. He was already past that stage, if you know what I mean. And he used to go on about, oh, pardon me French, everyone, if you like, you know, if you like, you know, you don't like naughty, you know, blowjob. You know what a blowjob is, you know what I mean? Well, this guy used to knock on the door, right? And come in and talk, and I'd go, you want a cup of tea? And I'd go, yeah, yeah. And he wasn't one of the Mormons or nothing, like, but he seemed to have this fixation or this, like, he seemed to think he was some kind of messiah or something, I don't know. Right. But he kept going on about blowjobs all the time, like, and I'd be like, why would anyone who's got any divine, you know, mission in life want to go around talking about blowjobs, man? But this picture really unnerves me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, considering it doesn't look anything like Jesus as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's nothing like him at all. He's like, on your knees, man. You know, when people tell you to get on your knees and pray, you know, that's a load of bull. You know, so you go into some churches, they have them like little sponge things, what you kneel on to receive a blessing. And, you know, the preacher's standing behind the fence, isn't he, normally? Like a little fence, like, you know what I mean? You know, you haven't got that, like, anyway, but some people just kneel anyway, don't they, to receive a blessing or whatever, like, but you know when they say to you, you've got to fall to your knees and pray, you don't have to fall to your knees. What does it say about Daniel when he goes to his room and just prays, looking at the window, facing south? There's no way, you know, he doesn't wave a flag, he doesn't wave his hands, he doesn't prostrate himself and fall to the ground. Some people can do that in a shock if they have a vision or something, maybe, you know, but being pushed to kneel down on the floor in front of someone, to me, is a bit like authoritarian in the first place in my book, like, you know what I mean? And look what it says on the picture of this picture. Highlights the necessity of righteous living for the exercise of priesthood power and, what's the last word? Authority. That's not a good word, is it? So far, if you're not with me so far, but that was actually, this square, this area, the top of his head and his shoulders, was the first picture in the Mormon book that I used to have, right? Now, so if you imagine it just like that, and you can't see these guys either side, it was just like that. I was like, you've just opened the Book of Mormon, whoa. Jesus Christ and the Church of Latter-day Saints. They're using the words Jesus Christ, but this guy is just a complete charlatan. I'm not being cruel, I'm not being mean, he's a charlatan. Whoever he is, he's a charlatan. Right? Okay. Now, I'll spare you having to look at that artistic impression artist's impression. That's what they said to me. They used to point out the pictures in the book, like, guys, these two Mormon dudes used to sit back and go, would just like to point out an artist's impression. It'd be like pictures, you know, what they were showing me, like, and I'd be like, I can't stand this style of painting. You know, it's an expert painting, isn't it? The guys obviously know how to paint. They're all, like, been to art school or college or university, you know. They can paint, but it's a complete fabrication. If that makes any sense. It's a complete fabrication. Right, so it took me ages to find that picture, folks. I was looking for it because that was the actual picture that was in the Mormon book that they gave me, right? And it gave me the creeps. A person was knocking on my door going, oh, blowjobs, right? And here's the other bogey element. Oh man, I don't know what to do with it. I've got to go on YouTube, haven't I? There's a video of mine on YouTube where I post a clip from a Mormon cartoon, and it's their version of Elohim, you know, the Mormon version of Elohim, knocking on the door so he can just bang Mary, who's just turned 16 or something like. Doesn't seem right to me, that, mate. To have celestial sex with Mary, Elohim knocks on the door as if he's just, you know, walked out of got off a bus or something and said, like, hey, you got any daughters I can bang? Doesn't seem right, does it? Do you understand? There's a true version of events, and there's some kind of twisted crap nonsense, right? Now, here's this is where it gets crazy, man. I'll tell you what, shrink this down again. And we're back on. Now, get me magic pen. Where's my magic pen? Where's my magic pen here? Right. I'm here in the front there, or at the back? At the back. Yeah, well, if you watch the cartoon, watch the banned Mormon cartoon, where you see Elohim. Remember, it's the white man's version, it's the Mormon version of Elohim. And he knocks on the door and he wants to knock a slice off the young girl because she's come of age, you know what I mean? It's like, that ain't right in the head, is it really? Like, you know, if you're going to argue with me, get out of my sight, bumhole heads. Okay. Alright, now it's just the way I see it, right? I don't know, my picture's still in the corner there. It's a, you know, ugly, horrible little, fat, ugly little horrible man. But anyway, right. Get me magic pen. I don't know if it's going to work. Is it working? Yeah. Right. Where is it? Oh, it's not doing it. Okay, so I'll do it this way, right? Okay, they give me one of these, right? The Mormon book, right? One Mormon book, right? And you've got a sleeve, and it's a piece of paper, you know, like a... Right, they give you one of them, right? Now, somewhere else in a factory or in a warehouse, right, there's a pallet like this, man. Right. If you imagine this as a pallet stacked with Mormon books, man. Say, I don't know, it's in the factory on a pallet, you know what I mean? It's like stacked with Mormon books, like Mormon books coming out of our ears, man. Right, and it's an absolute poppycock false doctrine, folks. It's like, I don't know why anyone would bother writing such garbage, you know what I mean? But they wrote it nonetheless with, obviously, you don't put that kind of work in for nothing, do you? You don't write a book like that full of bullshit. Sorry about what I'm saying, but I've got to be frank. Now, just imagine, like, that book there is like about the size of, like, say, that corner there, like that, right? Right. Just imagine that's just my Mormon book that's been taken off this stack. Mine's gone, by the way. I've actually burnt it, guys. There's only one way to break the spell, is to actually burn it, you know what I mean? Throwing it away or putting it in the loft or putting it in a cupboard and going, I'm not going to look at that again, you know. It's not good enough, you know. But you imagine that is one Mormon book in the top corner, right? And obviously the rest of the palette is just like, right. Now, you know that every time that someone hands out one of these books to a house, it goes into the living room or the bedroom or whatever, and then the next door get one, and one could be going in there, and then if you zoom up above the street, you know, like, there's the street, like, you know, that they just visited, and like, this house has got one, 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 this house has got one. Then you think of the whole street like that, you know what I mean? And everyone else in the street have all got one, like, and they might not even want it, you know what I'm saying? They're just being polite, and they go, yeah, it's okay, I'll take this book. And like, in England, we have a telephone directory called Yellow Pages, which is another one that people get dumped with, and it's like just a load of phone numbers, you know. Or Thompson Local is another one, you know. It's a very easy way of getting into people's houses, is just write a book that you're a pamphlet that you hand over for free, you know. But anyway, the whole street have all got a Mormon book, right? You know, there's the road down the middle, like, you know, and this whole street have all been given a Mormon book. So you imagine that entire block, right? I've got one of these, and then somewhere else in a factory or whatever, in a warehouse, there's like one pallet of Mormon books there. Another pallet of Mormon books there. I could understand if it was a good book, guys, you know what I mean? If it was well written or it was something interesting, but it's a load of crap, man. Right? Now just imagine an entire factory stacked with, you know, if you go into a factory and you see things all stacked on pallets, just imagine that, like, this warehouse full of Mormon books, right? It's just a lot of paper, isn't it, right? But what we're forgetting about, gold leaf. On the cover there, right? It's bound to be. It's either going to be pure gold or pure platinum. It could be platinum, because I've noticed it's gone like a silvery colour over the recent years, right? And you know, there's a lot of platinum on the moon and on asteroids and things like that. You know, cars leave platinum on the roads. Every road in Britain and America and all over the world is covered in platinum. You know, folks. That's how we're connecting to the moon. All roads lead to Rome, because the catalytic converters in a car emits platinum. So we're surrounded by platinum, you know, guys. On every road in Britain, there's like, or America, you know, if it's a busy road, there's going to be platinum everywhere from the, you know, little tiny microdots, like. But they're lining the roads with platinum, right? So you imagine this book, and it's got like, let's get an illustration, right? Let's find an illustration. I don't really want to. I don't want to. No, forget about it, right? But anyway, on the cover of every Mormon book, it says the Book of Mormon, with loads of, you know, there's letter O's and you know, you just think of the letter O's, you know what I mean? The B-O-O-K. O, then there's two M's in Mormon, and then there's like the testimony of Jesus Christ, you know. It used to say Latter-day Saints, but now they changed it, you know, when you're moving the goalposts and you keep changing something, right? And then in recent years, when I noticed it says the Book of Mormon on the front, right, and then on the sleeve area here, you know, where it here, it's the same thing, the same little thing. So you've got, like, if you imagine that's the sleeve and that's the front cover, right, between the front cover here and here, there's a right angle, isn't there? You know what I mean? There's a 90-degree angle, the Freemasonic right angle, right? You see that angle I'm pointing out there, right? But you got to remember, there's gold leaf there or platinum, and there's gold leaf there or platinum. Do you understand, right? Then take a step back and think of all that gold and platinum, or gold or platinum, or whatever. They use gold leaf or some kind of precious metal to. It's only like as thin as a wafer, isn't it? You know, when you leaf. Well, you imagine this stack of this pallet of Mormon books with all the gold in it, and that stack of pallets with all the gold in it, and then like a warehouse, right? And what they hand to you when they give you the book, there's like about about $1 worth of gold in total value on the cover, right? It's a kind of bribe, isn't it? You know what I mean? But you can't access the pallets that are in the warehouse where there's like, say you could separate the gold from a Book of Mormon and then separate the gold from a Book of Mormon in a stack and then add it all up and weigh it all, melt it down and weigh it. I'm sure it'd be quite like a hefty little, because precious metals can be used for all kinds of shady, secret avenues, do you understand? So you've got your right angle there on the edge of the book and on the front of the book. That's where the Masonic right angle is, you know what I mean? And then the letter O's are kind of symbolic because the circles and the golden or platinum. Then you've got to imagine the entire warehouse. How much gold or platinum is going to be in amongst all these Mormon books? There's going to be... And when they're stacked up, right, from the top book there, say that's the top book, when you go down like that, all the letter O's will all be lined up. Do you understand? The writing on the cover will all be lined up and there as well. So you imagine like channels like that of gold, like veins. When you find gold in the wild, or you find you go like prospecting or whatever, you find veins of it in walls and stuff, don't you? It's like it's in veins. You know what I mean? But like these guys are making like a false, like a big huge block like this with veins of gold in it, right? And I literally think if they nominate a town or a city and say, this block here of like with gold veins throughout it, like, you know what I mean, is now like Liverpool, right? And like, this one's Liverpool, and this one's Manchester, or this one's London, and it gets to the point where like they must be seeing every town and city all over the world as just blocks of books on a pallet, because even if you don't read the book, guys, even if you're not interested in their false religion, even if you're just being polite and you accept the book, it's still in your house. This row of houses here has got a load of Mormon books there, this one here. So what it's doing is it's connecting this street of houses and this street of houses to these blocks here, you know what I mean? And it's creating a macrocosm of like lost sheep who need guidance, if you know what I mean. And then all of a sudden shows up, they're like, oh, cancel. I was going to close this. We go, why didn't I leave the picture up, man, instead of like, now, there's going to be, that picture is going to be in multiples in that book, in the palette, on the palette, you know what I mean, and before you know it, you get your book off them, right? And next thing you know, you see the picture like this, right? You see the picture, you go, oh, so that's what Jesus looks like in their eyes, you know what I mean, right? Next thing you know, there's a knock on your door and he's standing there looking at you going, hi man, how's it going, man? And you're literally going to go, it's like, it's him. It's the man, he's the one in the book that I've just been given by these men who knock on every single door in every town, handing you a piece of gold from a pallet. So do you imagine how it's corrupting your airspace? You actually, say you seen him walking down the street in Utah or somewhere, if you were like green behind the ears and really gullible, you'd drop on your knees, wouldn't you, like that, and go, whoa, yeah. And you're just being completely beguiled, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, that is my, that's my own personal spin on, like, what I think, how these seem to, if you think of it from house to house, well, first, it starts off from book to book, from house to house, from street to street, from pallet to pallet, from warehouse to warehouse. I don't know where the Mormons keep the pallets of books. I don't know how many they have stacked up, but they must. But if it was a really good book, if it was actually really good writings and stuff, I could understand it. But you know what? The gold on the cover is worth more than the actual book. It's a load of crap, right? Now, I've got one more point I wanted to make before I get off. I'm just doing this little speech because I'm thinking, in case people think, oh wow, is Bruce not going to do any more speeches now? Like, I thought, I've got to say something like, oh, that's it, right. As soon as the book was in my possession, right, first thing I noticed, I knew there was some kind of magic attached to it, some kind of, it wasn't just a book on the shelf. I knew something was going on because when they handed it to me and they told me to look at it, I opened it and tried looking. I'd never read a Bible, you see, like, guys. So I started looking at it. This was about 1999, 97 maybe, I'm not sure. They were knocking on the door and doing me head and trying to pressurise me into going to the church and things like that, and I didn't want to go, But I noticed one thing. When they said to me, will you promise us you'll do something for us? I went, yeah, go ahead. And he went, will you actually open it and read it and have a look at it when we leave and that, like? And I was like, just being polite. I was like, yeah, all right, because I'm not really an avid reader, like, folks. I'm not really into books, you know what I mean? I'm into books to tell you how to do things, you know what I mean? But I don't really read much, I've read the Bible, the whole Bible, since all that, like, and that speaks for itself, doesn't it, right? That's talking about the real Holy Spirit, Not this guy that gets you on your knees and puts your head right down there. Just don't, like, just put me out there, like, don't like it, man. But first thing I noticed, the atmosphere of the house. The house where, my living room, my mum and dad used to sit in the living room watching the TV or whatever, like. I noticed the television getting cornier, right? Like Little House on the Prairie, or programs like that that are very, like, sort of American family, happy families programs. I'm not knocking that kind of, if you're into it, but they manipulate your emotions, folks. Little House on the Prairie, everyone's crying, aren't they? They all go, whoa, they all like, whoa, and they get you into the Mormon church and you end up standing in front of a crowd of adults going, oh, it's so amazing, and they're all going, we've got him crying, yeah, they don't tell you that, like, you know what I mean, the little in-joke, they've got the little trick, like. But I noticed the house being, like, shady. I noticed where I lived, the atmosphere getting strange, right? And even when I got up out there, like, I don't like the vibe in this house, and I didn't even think for once in my brain it could have been the Mormon book, do you know what I mean? It's just a book on the shelf, it's not like, it's just a book with, like, letters on the cover, if you know what I mean, made of gold. And I actually sat there thinking, oh man, I don't like the vibe in this house at the moment. So I used to go for a walk in the woods, and I noticed even when I went for a walk in the woods, right, even though I was in amongst the trees and a place where I love, that book was still there. It was like, say I went for a walk for 5 miles, it was like I couldn't leave the book, because I did what they asked me to do, you see. I opened it and I read a little bit of it and I thought, it's a load of crap myself, you know what I mean? I don't even know what I'm looking at here, mate. This is nothing even sensible. And but I could sense it taking over the house, right, folks? This is why you got to be serious about it. You've got to understand how serious this issue is. If you're not a Mormon but you've got a Mormon book, find it, dig it out, find it in your loft or wherever, burn it in your back garden, have a fire, burn it. Don't be afraid. It's not blasphemy. It's a load of crap. It's not a real book. It's not even real doctrine. You know what I mean? Just burn it, right? You'll probably feel like an atmosphere leaving your house soon after, like this presence that you're thinking, what was that all about? What was that bad vibe I was feeling there? I thought it was just get that out of the way. Oh. What was that bad vibe I was feeling in the house there, mate? No, let me go. Let go of my head. Let go of my head. No, I'm sorry, folks. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just the way I've got this. I think they manipulate families and they manipulate people because they're like cattle, mate. They just see people like cattle. Do you know what I mean? They just see us like cattle. Or more money supermarket, you know what I mean? But anyway, I felt my living room atmosphere changing when I went to try to go to bed. I'd be in my bedroom. The whole house had this vibe, this frequency. I go for a walk in the woods, I could still feel the same frequency. You know what I mean? And then the television started changing and all kinds of things started happening, right? Now, back then they used to hand videos out to people, didn't they? They'd say to people, do you want to watch a video? And it'd be some guy dressed as Jesus, an actor, pretending to be Jesus. Or it could have been a man who was being really fooled and recorded and filmed like a practical joke, thinking he's Jesus, like the Emperor's New Clothes. You know the story, the Emperor's New Clothes, where the kid convinces the king to wear no clothes at all because he says he's wearing something invisible. Well, I think the Mormons have got like, they get people and choose them to who's going to be the next Messiah we can fool, right? And he becomes the, he thinks he's Jesus, and there's some kind of practical joke in it, like, you know what I mean? And I think they nominate people and then like there's like a wind up, because they want to watch it go and like start like, say they fooled me into thinking I was Jesus, and I'll be like start saying things like, a man called Thomas comes towards me, and I go, Thomas, you start, and they must have this humorous in-joke about watching people making divvies out of themselves, thinking they're Jesus, basically. Do you understand? I don't know, it's a bit strange, man. But I noticed the whole atmosphere was changing, right? I keep thinking things in my head what I've got to say, because there's quite a lot, like. And I keep just squeezing my tea bags here, mate. Right. But they used to give videos out, didn't they? DVDs, right? Now, you know what I noticed? After they stopped giving them videos out and the adverts stopped appearing on television saying, phone this number and we will send you a DVD for free, right? Think about it, when they're throwing something at you for free and it's an electronic gadget and it goes in your DVD player or your machine, your computer or whatever, like. Anyone who's a sucker for the word Jesus, and I don't mean that in an insulting way, I mean that like being, polite, but they take advantage of you guys, do you understand? If you just like, let's face it, how many of us would meet a total stranger dressed as Jesus and he was just pretending, and he'd fool us, and we'd go, oh yeah, wow. None of us really know, do we? But I wouldn't let it happen, like, the confrontation happen in the first place, people knocking on your door, like. But when they stopped handing over the videos, right, folks, Blockbuster Video appeared. The company, Blockbuster Video, and they hire out DVDs of movies. Now think about it, instead of getting into your house using these phony films of a phony Jesus, whatever, like. Because it's not your property. When you borrow a disc off a company, you watch the film and then you take it back the next day, don't you? It's not your property. It's their property. You got to hand it back by law, haven't you? Right? It's very clever tactics, isn't it? It's like keeping an electrical connection. Like all the Mormon books in every house, in every street. Everyone's video recorder, and you're not like watching any Mormon paraphernalia. You're just going to Blockbusters and getting a movie, like a Charlie Bronson film or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So that's another way I think they were corrupting, getting into people's living rooms. They've got this obsession with taking over the household, man. Take over the house and win. Whatever that means, like. And then, when Blockbuster went bust and closed down because no one wanted to really hire videos anymore, because when the advert for Blockbuster was on, did you notice the people that used to act on the adverts were Americans? If it was an advert in England, even if it was in England and it was an advert for Blockbuster Video on English television, right, folks, the people who were showing the faces going, get any film at Blockbuster and you can watch it, but they weren't like, watch any film at Blockbuster. They were like, watching any film at Blockbuster, you get 2 for the price of 1. Yeah. They're talking in American accents, and then whenever I hear this accent, hi, how are you doing? You alright? And it's kind of corny. I'm like, whoa. I'm like that, you know what I mean? Like, how's it going, man? You go, hey, fine, how are you? You alright? I'm like, go, get away from me with that accent. Get away from me. Get thee behind me. As soon as I hear them accents, I just immediately, my alarm bells go off, like. Right. So, they were, Blockbuster Video closes down, right, all of a sudden. It went bust, remember? There was no call for it, having offices everywhere. Think about it, they own all these properties. There's like shops in every high street, in every town, in every village, every city and town in Britain, with a shop that's hiring out videos and DVDs. Right, and then when that went bust and closed, what happens? Netflix appears. This new company, Netflix. And what do they do, guys? What's Netflix's catch, guys? What's their, their fishing line? What's their fishing line? They go, 1 month for free. Just watch Netflix for free, for a free trial. Right, and then you download the software and you activate the software in your computer or on your laptop or on your gaming machine. And you're using their app, remember, it's their property, guys. The little, read the small print in software and everything like that. It's their property, right? Most people who are going to get that month's trial, right, are going to watch as many films as they can to get to get a month's worth for free, right? And then sack it, right? Or a lot of people will forget, and then the bank account takes before you even watch a film, right, folks. Where's the alarm bell? Bank details, card details, name, address. You give them all everything you know about yourself, your bank details. These people you've never met in your life called Netflix. You give them your bank details and all that, and they can just charge it every month if you don't cancel the subscription and that like. But if you're gonna hire one of them things for a month free trial, how many films are you going to watch that are popular? Say the very latest Captain Marvel movie, or the trends, whatever everyone else is going to be watching. You know what I mean? Say it was like the Joker came out this week. Loads of people are going to watch it for free on Netflix. Do you understand how people use Netflix? They can watch it. And these companies know you're going to watch a load of movies, you know what I mean? They know what you're going to absorb, and they're probably watching every minute of you through the screen while you're watching these films, if you know what I mean. They give me the creeps, mate. Now, I know when that book was in my house, I could sense it literally taking over the house, man. And it wasn't until I actually got mean in my head and thought, I've had enough of this, I'm burning it. I feel sorry to the guys who told me to take it, you know what I mean? Because they were just being polite and they can't help the way they're brought up, can they, right? And I just couldn't wait to get out in the back garden and throw it in the bin and set it on fire, you know what I mean? Because it actually infuriated me, right? And as soon as it was gone, that sense of the atmosphere in my house and everything was gone. And I could the sunlight was different, and the way the television programmes were starting to come back to normal. It was quite bizarre, you know what I mean? And I didn't tell anyone in the house, I wasn't sitting in the living room going, Eureka, Eureka, we've got rid of the Mormon signal. You don't think a book can be so damaging, you know what I mean, folks? But that's the great psyop, that's the Mormon psyop, when they hand the book over, if you actually own the literature, because books are just such a pain in the arse, aren't they? They're so big and bulky and heavy, and if they're packed with nothing but crap, there's not really much point in owning them in the first place, is there, you know what I mean? I want to write a book, How to Dispose of the Mormon Book, without offending your neighbours. Alright, I think I'm going to get off. Is there anything else I just want to say? I just want people's opinion, you see, folks. Does anyone agree with me? Am I the only man alive who's noticing that we're being slowly invaded? Like a world invasion or something? And they don't ask for permission, guys. They don't say, can we, rule your town? They just seem to go around trying to take over every town and city without saying nothing. They're very silent and covert, you know what I mean? And go and ask all them Mormons who are leaving the religion, you know, they're actually leaving it, like, you know, go and ask them why they're doing it, man, you know what I mean, why they're leaving, like. Anyway, I'll leave it on that subject. I'm not sure I've got anything else to say, but yeah, Netflix, right? Proof that Netflix is owned by the Mormons. There's a company called NASAflix. It specialises in NASA footage. You know, where do you think all the money goes, mates? Where do you think all the money that the Mormons raise comes from, man? They buy space shuttles. They don't anymore. They're buying them little, you know, the little the drone space shuttles now they're sending up. Have you noticed they're sending up space shuttles secretly, guys? Have you noticed they're sending up them secret little space shuttles? The secret ones with no pilots, no people inside them, you know what I mean? They're sending them up now, aren't they? And coming down, landing, perfectly landing, and they're not even being like detected, or, you know, no one knows what they're doing with them, you know, they're not saying nothing. A lot of covert stuff going on, man. I think they're trying to take over the earth. Not my earth, by the way. No one's going to take over my earth, man. I ain't going to let that man get in my living room and show this. I ain't going to have this person's going to be in my living room. Ah, shrunk. I don't know about you, man, but I feel mighty uncomfortable when I see that image. No, I'm sorry, guys. I know I might seem a bit negative on that one, but it does spook me, mate. If you know, I won't say anything else. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to get too heavy on it, you see. I don't want to devote too much time to it. But I think a lot of gang stalkers are Mormons. I think some of these local churches, right, and you think they're just called like the Church of Happiness, the Church of Joy, or whatever, all these like little quiet, I think they're all quiet Mormon sidelines, and they're not actually admitting it to us, you know what I mean? So you've got to be very careful where you go, you know, to pray in that way. I mean, I'm going to seem like one seriously badass, aren't I, for saying this, and, you know, in a Mormon's perspective, they're going to be like, what an evil devil, the backsliding devil. Like, yeah, right. Well, yeah, if you've got a Mormon book, guys, right, and this is the final point, right. I knew some guy a few years back on YouTube. He used to be on YouTube, and he was heavily into his Bible and stuff, right, and he was quite a sensible lad, and he was into it, like, you know, and it just so happened, he was one of them people that go into an antique shop, and if he saw an old Bible, he'd buy it because it's old, and he wanted to look into, like, the pages of, you know, and he did actually own a Mormon book when he was posting a video up on YouTube once. And I said, I'd burnt mine, right? I had set my Mormon book on fire and made sure I got read. I never read it all, never got into it, reading it and everything. I couldn't handle looking at the thing, you know what I mean? But I got rid of it, right? And then I said to this dude, this was like, say, it was quite a few years after I'd looked into one, you know what I mean? I said, oh, have you got a Mormon book there, man? Yeah. And he went, yeah, I've got one here, man. Yeah. I went, show us the front page and let's see the picture of the Jesus on the front page, like. And he opened it, right, and it was a different picture. It was a different man completely, right? It's as though that Jesus that was in that picture, the one I showed you before, had died or something of old age or something, you know, never resurrected after 3 days or nothing, like. And then they have to put someone else in his place, you know what I mean? Completely different man. What a scam, man. You know, and if he knocks on your door, you go like, he's the man in the book. Do you get the psyop, what it's all about? You see a picture of someone in what you think is a holy book because you've never studied the Bible. And then you see this guy walking past in the street looking all cool like Jesus, and he's the guy that's in the picture in your book, so you go, it's the second coming. You know what I'm saying, like? But he was a completely different man in a later version of the Mormon book, right? And then later on, I checked it, I've seen other pictures, and they move the goalposts, you know what I mean, guys? They move the goalposts. They take turns, who's playing their Jesus, you know what I mean? Anyway, I think I'll get off. How long's this been? Oh, an hour. Right, we'll leave it at around an hour. And, I get off and I had to push myself to do this speech because I'm kind of getting, like I say, I'm a bit lacking, and I don't really want to do things with this poor quality camera and this the webcam thing and these poor quality videos. I want to do proper productions, man. But I need a good computer, so I'll put a PayPal link underneath for no reason whatsoever. But like, I don't know if any of you have sent me anything and I didn't get it. Please tell me, because I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Nothing's happened to me PayPal, nothing like that. I haven't got anything, no like thousands of pounds to buy me computer now, like, and sports cars and London Real. These are my Maseratis, all 5 of them, and you can have 5 Maseratis too if you read the Book of Mormon and watch London Real and become an entrepreneur and try and be like Joseph Smith and make millions and bullshit and lie and deceive the nations. Any more points you've got about the Book of Mormon before I go on? I don't know. We'll leave it at that. Alright, we're over an hour. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to all the subbers. It's going up. So I'm getting like, say, 12 to 15 subbers a month. It goes up. A couple leave me every now and then, and a couple come. It's great. But I don't wonder how many of them are spies that are trying to kill me. Well, this is all I've got to say to any of you psyops and spies who are trying to kill me. Alright guys, sorry I look so scruffy and a bit like rough, you know what I mean? It's been like one of my lazy days. I've just got over my birthday, I didn't do nothing, I just stayed in, had a couple of bevies, nice quiet bit, you know what I mean? I hate my birthday. It reminds me that that I'm born and that I came into this world. It does my head in, like. That's what birthdays are to me, like. To remind you that you're in a place you don't want to be. But I'm 55 and I'm still alive. Alright, thanks for watching. Any information, any comments, anyone, points of interest, anyone had any stories? Have you been forced to take a Mormon book? Is it still in yours? Get rid of it, you know what I mean? Anyone got anything to say? The gold leaf on the cover, the right angle, the pallets of gold. Just think of how much gold is in a pallet of Mormon books. It can't be much, but it must be substantial, mustn't it? I'm sure that's how they're doing it, right, folks, And the dollar's collapsing and everything, like, Alright, I'm getting out of here, man. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I love you all. I hate myself.